Dear students of class 12, now having discussed simple, complex and compound in detail, we shall now proceed with the exercises given in your textbook. Now remember the rules for simple sentence, complex sentence and compound sentence. As I told you earlier, a simple sentence contains only one finite verb. A complex sentence has one main clause and any number of subordinate clauses. And a compound sentence, two simple sentences connected together by a conjunction make a compound sentence. Now students, remember that you have to master these three kinds of sentences in order to write well. You must know what a simple sentence is, what a complex sentence is, and what a compound sentence is. The same idea can be expressed in these three forms. So let us look at the exercises in detail and understand the structure and learn the transformation of sentences too. Now let us recall the basic structure of the three kinds of sentences. Simple sentence. Look at the following sentences. There is a solution to every problem. Now why do we call this a simple sentence? Now look at the number of finite verbs in the sentence. There is a solution. So is the only finite verb in this sentence. Therefore, it is a simple sentence. Work with dedication to achieve success. Now in this sentence, we got only one finite verb, that is work. Now to achieve, to plus verb achieve is a to infinitive. So it is a non-finite verb. The only finite verb is work. Therefore, the sentence has only one finite verb and it is classified as a simple sentence. The path to success is highly complicated. So here again, be form of verb is. That is your only finite verb. So this sentence is a simple sentence. A golden key can open any door. So can open. Open main verb. Can is an auxiliary verb. Together can open forms one unit. So you have only one finite verb, that is can open. And therefore this sentence is also a simple sentence. In the event of you were missing the bus, take a taxi. Now simple sentences can be lengthy. Still, you identify the finite verb, the number of finite verbs and find out whether it is a simple sentence or not. Now in the event of, it is a phrase. You were missing the bus. Missing, it is a non-finite verb. Participle, missing. So take a taxi. Take is your only finite verb. Though the sentence is lengthy, it has only one finite verb, take. Therefore, it is a simple sentence. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So obviously, the finite verb here is begins. The chief guest arrived in great haste. So arrived is your finite verb, only one finite verb. Therefore, it is a simple sentence. Now look at the explanation here. We've already discussed it. A simple sentence has only one finite verb. Simple sentences are used to depict universal truths, facts and descriptions. A simple sentence has just one independent clause, that is the main clause. It has only one subject and one predicate. You can apply this rule to the sentences we discussed earlier and find out whether they are true. A simple sentence may have subject complements, object complements, adverbial phrases and non-finites. So it may have phrases. It can have the to infinitive. It can have the bare infinitive. So now let us look at some examples. Honesty is the best policy. So once again apply the rule. Only one finite verb, that is is. Therefore this is a simple sentence. Shyam forgot to close the door. Forgot is your main verb. To plus infinitive to close, it's a non-finite verb. Being punctual is one of Rekha's greatest virtues. So be plus ing, being, non-finite verb, is, that is the only finite verb. Therefore this is a simple sentence. Balu saw the thief jumping over the compound wall. Saw is your finite verb. Jumping, verb plus ing, participial form. The pictures being attractive won the appreciation of many. So won, one. One is your only finite verb. Being, be plus ing, non-finite verb. So you must learn how to identify the sentences as simple. Now you got an exercise. Pick out the finite verbs in the following sentences. I given the answer in red. You can solve this problem in different ways. So can solve is the finite verb. The professor has been working on the last chapter of the book since March. So has been working. So though it contains three words, has been working together, it is the present perfect continuous tense. Despite being a celebrity, Ravi mingles easily with everyone. Mingles is your finite verb. Now remember, in a simple sentence or in general, you will get this under error spotting too. In spite, these are followed by of. The words in spite are followed by of. In spite of being a celebrity, Ravi mingles easily with everyone. But when you use despite, you should not write of there. So despite Ravi being a celebrity. So you shouldn't write despite of. You'll get this question under error spotting. So pay attention to this aspect also. Next sentence. You must speak clearly to make yourself understood. To plus make, to infinitive. So must speak is your finite verb. The chairman being away, the clerk is unable to approve the proposal. To approve, to plus verb, to infinitive. So is your only finite verb. Getting down from the car, the chief guest walked towards the dais amidst applause. So such a lengthy sentence. So getting down, that's the participial form. Then walked, walked is your only finite verb. The old man struggled to walk without support. So struggled is your only finite verb. In case of emergency, please contact this number. So contact is your only finite verb. The sun having set, the temperature fell rapidly. So having set, so that comes under the participial form. Temperature fell. Fell is your only finite verb. But for your help, I could not have completed the assignment. So could not have completed. That is your finite verb. Now task 2. Read the following passage and identify the simple sentences. Sunflowers turn according to the position of the sun. So turn is your only finite verb. In other words, they chase the light. So in other words is a phrase. So chase is your only finite verb. So this is also a simple sentence. Have you ever wondered what happens on cloudy, rainy days when the sun is completely covered by clouds? So you got what as a clause marker and when another clause marker. So this is not a simple sentence. See the number of finite verbs, that will tell you whether it is a simple sentence or not. If you have only one finite verb, it is a simple sentence. If you have more than one finite verb, then it may be either a complex sentence or a compound sentence. Sometimes it may be a complex compound cluster also. Now in this sentence, have you ever wondered? Have wondered, one finite verb. Happens, another finite verb. Is covered, is completely covered. So is covered, another finite verb. So you got three finite verbs. Therefore, this is not a simple sentence. If you think the sunflower withers or turns its head towards the ground, you are completely mistaken. So again, identify the finite verbs. Think is one finite verb. Withers, turns, and then are mistaken. So many finite verbs. So it is not a simple sentence. Do you know what happens? So do know happens. Again, not a simple sentence. Sunflowers turn to each other to share their energy. So turn is your only finite verb. Analyze the last sentence and find out whether it is a simple sentence or not. Now we move on to the complex sentence. Now as we learnt earlier, what is a complex sentence? It has only one main clause and any number of subordinate clauses. Now you must understand what a phrase is and what a clause is in order to understand the complex structure. So let us also learn to identify main and subordinate clauses. Now phrase, what is a phrase? It is a group of words without a finite verb in it. And point 2, it does not make complete sense. For example, my new watch. So it is incomplete. It doesn't give you complete sense. There is no finite verb in it. A barking dog, again participle, bark plus ing. Now any verb plus ing is a fragment. It is a participle. So what kind of dog? Barking dog. So there is no finite verb in it. The wise, the brave, the rich, the poor. All these are examples of phrases because they do not have finite verbs in them. Now let's move on to a clause. What is a clause? A clause is a group of words with a finite verb in it. It may or may not make complete sense. Examples, my watch that is new. So you got the verb is here. My watch that is new, incomplete. A dog that is barking, finite verb. People who are wise, so are finite verb. Those who are brave are finite verb. Now let us examine the structure in detail. Now look at the following sentence. I have lost the watch that you gave me. As I told you earlier, please identify the number of finite verbs. Have lost, one finite verb. Gave, another finite verb. So definitely there are two parts, two clauses here. Now I have lost the watch. Does this give you complete sense? Yes, definitely. It makes complete sense. So that is your main clause. What is a main clause? The clause that can stand on its own, or the clause that can give complete meaning on its own. That is the main clause or the principal clause. Now look at the next part. That you gave me. Now doesn't this sound incomplete? That you gave me. What happened to it? We do not know. The watch that you gave me is not working. The watch that you gave me is very costly. So if I simply say that you gave me, it is incomplete. It depends upon the main clause. What is the main clause? I have lost the watch. Only when you annex this to the main clause, the sentence is complete, the sense is complete. And therefore, this part of the sentence which depends on the main clause for its meaning to be completed, that is called the subordinate clause, because this has a finite verb in it. Then what about that? That is called the clause marker. So you identify the subordinate clause when you identify the clause marker, when you first fix the clause marker. So this is an example of a complex sentence. A complex sentence has one main clause and any number of subordinate clauses. Now look at the textual exercises. Look at the following complex sentences. Circle the main clauses and underline the subordinate clauses. Sentence 1. Nobody knows when the power supply will resume. Now, nobody knows it. So it gives you complete meaning. Therefore, that is your main clause. When the power supply will resume, that is the dangling part. It is incomplete. Suppose I ask you an independent sentence starting with capital W. If I ask you this question, when will the power supply resume? Then it is an independent sentence. It makes complete sense on its own. It is not the subordinate clause. When will the power supply resume? Will resume finite verb. So it is a simple sentence. But here what happens? This when the power supply will resume. So you can see the interchange there. So when will the power supply resume is not your question. When the power supply will resume. So it is an incomplete part. This is the subordinate clause. It is attached to the main clause to give you complete sense. So that part, when the power supply will resume, is your subordinate clause, incomplete part. When is the clause marker? Please tell me what the time is. So please tell me. If I stop there, it gives me complete sense. Please tell me something. So please tell me. Please look at me. Please help me. All these are main clauses. Now what the time is? I didn't ask you this question. What is the time? In that case, it will be an independent sentence giving you complete sense. But here, what the time is a fragment attached to the main clause. So this is the subordinate clause. The man who directed the film was my schoolmate. Now here you have to identify the main clause by identifying the finite verbs. Now one finite verb is directed. It comes after the clause marker who. So don't touch that part. Look at the remaining part of the sentence. You got was as another finite verb. Now look at the first part, the man. Look at the second part without the clause marker. It is was my schoolmate. So combine these. The man was my schoolmate. You get complete meaning here. So that is your main clause. Now this part, who directed the film? This follows the clause marker who. So take it together and this is the incomplete part. This is your subordinate clause. Next sentence. I believe that all men are basically good. So I believe something. I believe main clause. What do I believe? That is your clause marker. That all men are basically good. So that part is your subordinate clause. Believe is one finite verb. Are is another finite verb. No one knows when he will return. So again, similar to the first sentence. No one knows is your main clause. I didn't give you the question as when will he return. Here the question is when he will return. So it is an incomplete part. It is the subordinate clause. Now pick out the complex sentences in the following passages. A man saw a lion in the bush as he was walking through the forest. So saw is one finite verb, was walking is another finite verb. So there are two clauses here. A man saw a lion in the bush makes complete sense. That is my main clause. When, as he was walking through the forest, incomplete part, subordinate clause. He did not know what to do. So did not know is my finite verb. He did not know what to do. Now 2 plus infinitive. Now third sentence, he was helpless. So again simple sentence. He was too scared to turn around and run. So he was too scared to turn around. He was too scared to run. He just knelt down as if he were getting ready to pray. So he just knelt down. That is one part. As if he were getting ready to pray, another part. So he just knelt down. That is your main clause. How? As if he were getting ready to pray, subordinate clause. He closed his eyes thinking that the lion would pounce on him any time. So closed, one finite verb. Would pounce, another finite verb. So he closed his eyes, main clause, thinking that the lion would pounce on him anytime, subordinate clause. Out of the corner of his eye, he saw the lion on its knees too. So here, even though it is lengthy, I get only one finite verb, which is saw. Therefore, this is a simple sentence. Shocked, he asked the lion what it was doing. So shocked, he asked the lion. Asked is one finite verb. Was doing is another finite verb. So he asked the lion, main clause, what it was doing, subordinate clause. The lion replied that he was praying before he started his meal. So replied, so that is one finite verb. Was praying, another finite verb. Started, one more finite verb. So this is an example of a complex sentence. Now we move on to the compound sentence. Look at the following sentence. Honesty promotes character and dishonesty destroys it. Now promotes is one finite verb, destroys is another finite verb. Now honesty promotes character. We get complete meaning. So this is main clause 1. Dishonesty destroys it. So another part that gives you complete meaning. So main clause 2. Now and joins both. And is the conjunction joining these two parts. This is an example of a compound sentence. Now you got a task. Identify the two main clauses and conjunctions in each of the following sentences. It started raining suddenly and people ran for shelter. So it started raining suddenly. Complete meaning, one main clause. People ran for shelter, again complete meaning, another main clause. And is your conjunction. Second sentence. Understand the concept well, otherwise you cannot solve the problem. So understand, one finite verb. Cannot solve, another finite verb. Now look at the first part. Understand the concept well. Makes complete sense. So main clause 1. You cannot solve the problem. Again this gives you complete sense. So main clause 2. Otherwise is the conjunction. Next sentence. 50 candidates appeared for the interview, but only 5 were selected. So appeared, one finite verb. Were selected, another finite verb. So it's obvious that the sentence has two clauses because of two finite verbs. Now 50 candidates appeared for the interview. Complete meaning. So main clause 1. Only 5 were selected. Again complete meaning. So main clause 2. But is your conjunction. Now complete the sentences choosing the right endings. So I've given you the answers here. We were thoroughly disappointed since our team did not get a prize. Hardly had he stepped out when it began to rain. Now students, please remember the structures. Whenever you get hardly, you will get when in the continuous part. Now when I use no sooner, it would be than. No sooner did I step out than it began to rain. Hardly had he stepped out when it began to rain. So learn these for your error spotting too. They wanted to find out his address. Since we had run out of petrol, we could not go further. The cause of his injury was his reckless driving. So it is in a distorted fashion in your textbook. You have to match the right endings. Now we move on to conditional clauses. So now let us recall, let us give a short revision, a brief revision of what you've already learnt in class 11. We know that there are 3 types here. So type 1, if I play well, I will win the match. So what you have to remember here is, see, the rules are very simple and easy. Just remember that you will get the simple present in the if clause. I will win the match. So you will get will plus verb or future in your main clause. That is for type 1. Now we move on to type 2. If it rained, unlikely condition, if it rained, they would cancel the match. So it's not going to rain. If it rained, they would cancel the match. So past tense in the if clause and would plus verb in the main clause. That's a brief formula that you have to remember. And type 3, this is slightly complicated. Impossible condition, something has already taken place. You cannot change it, but you are imagining the other possibility. So what is that? If Saravanan had played well, he would have won the match. What is the reality? Saravanan did not play well. That is one part. He lost the match, or we did not win the match. That is the second part. Both have happened. So I am thinking of the other possibility. If Saravanan had played well, he would have won the match. So what do you have here? Past perfect in the if clause and future perfect in the main clause. So remember these 3 golden rules for your type 1, type 2 and type 3 if clauses. Now let us proceed with the exercises. If I dash a spider, I dash webs. So here be. Now be forms of verbs already I have told you is, was, are, were, am. Now I am not a spider, I am a human being. So I am just totally imagining this condition. So if I were a spider, where would be the right answer here? If I were the king, if I were the prime minister, if I were the president, if I were a millionaire. So you would have written essays in your school days on this topic. So you are imagining your position. If you put yourself in somebody else's shoes, which is not likely to happen. So if I were a spider, I would be webs. If I were past tense, so would be. You get would in your main clause. If Raj dash a sculptor, he dash beautiful idols. So again, same principle is applied here. If Raj were a sculptor, he would make beautiful idols. So because of where here, you get would in the main clause. If Mary had an umbrella, she dash lend it to me. Now you got to be careful whenever you get had. Now look at the if clause. You got one had here. So this had represents ownership or possession. If Mary possessed an umbrella, she would lend it to me. Rex would have played with me if he dashed time. See what I explained earlier, you get it in this sentence. Rex would have played with me. So future perfect. When? If he had had time. So in the if clause, you get past perfect had, and the other had is having some time, that is getting some time. If he had got time. So instead of got, you are using the verb had, because in the question you got has. So if he had had time. Rex would have played with me if he had had time. Now if I were you, I dash accept this offer. I would accept this offer. If I were past tense, so in your main clause you get would. We dash select storybooks for kids if we allot time for storytelling. So we shall select storybooks for kids if we allot time for storytelling. So shall or will in your main clause and simple present in your if clause. The education minister dash our school tomorrow if he goes by this way. So carefully observe the tense form in the if clause, simple present. So the education minister will visit our school tomorrow if he goes by this way. Next sentence, you will be rewarded by the wise if you dash for truth. So this is of the passive form, but anyway in the main clause you got will, so you'll get simple present in the if clause. So if you stand for truth, the same verb there. If my mother dash of my poor performance in the exam, she will not allow me to watch a movie. So will not allow, you get will in your main clause. So in your if clause you must have the simple present. So the answer is, if my mother knows of my poor performance in the exam, she will not allow me to watch a movie. If I had won the lottery, I dash donate relief materials for the flood victims. So if I had won the lottery, so look at this sentence. So if I had won the lottery, I would have donated relief materials for the flood victims. So this is of type 3. Now rewrite the following sentences using if without changing the meaning. So that's very important. Read the sentence, understand the meaning, then reconstruct it using if without altering the meaning. Sindhu would not have won the world championship unless she had had single-minded devotion. Now look at the use of two hads here. As I told you, one had is for the past perfect tense. The other one is for possessing or ownership or having. So, if Sindhu had not had single-minded devotion, she would not have won the championship. Which part are you changing now? Unless. Always unless means if not, if you do not, if I do not, if he does not. So, Sindhu would not have won the world championship if she had not had single-minded devotion. That negative element in unless is brought out by the word not. You will not reach your goal unless you chase your dream. So, again concentrate on unless. The subject is you. So, instead of unless it is if you do not. You will not reach your goal if you do not chase your dream. Third sentence, unless we plant more trees, we cannot save our planet. So, as I told you, if and not, so subject is we. So, if we do not plant more trees, we cannot save our planet. The rescue team would not have saved the victims unless they had received the call in time. So, here the subject is third person. The rescue team would not have saved the victims if they had not received the call in time. So, pay attention to the subject. Next sentence, the palace cannot be kept clean unless we appoint more people. So, cannot, present. The palace cannot be kept clean if we do not appoint more people. The portraits would not have been so natural unless the artist had given his best. The portraits would not have been so natural if the artist had not given his best. The manager would not have selected Nitiksha unless she exhibited good accounting skill. The manager would not have selected Nitiksha if she had not exhibited good accounting skill. The policeman would not have arrested the man unless he had violated the rules. So, unless if he had not violated the rules. So, bring in that negative element. Mr. Kunal, this is a complicated sentence, please pay attention to this. Mr. Kunal would not sponsor my higher education unless I studied well. So, Mr. Kunal would not sponsor my higher education if I did not study well. Kavin will not stop flying kites unless he understands the risk involved in it. Kavin will not stop flying kites if he does not understand the risk involved in it. Tanya would not know the answer unless she referred to the answer key. Tanya would not know the answer if she did not refer to the answer key. So, the last sentence I leave it to you. You work on it. So, following all these guidelines and rules, I am sure you will be able to solve the sentences involving if clause. Please understand all the three types. Follow the rules thoroughly. I have given you useful tips for you to remember the structures of these three types of conditional clauses. Please bear them in mind and carry out your construction well. Thank you, students. All the best.